Welcome to the brand new Zach Lowe Show. That's right, I'm back to have the same in-depth NBA conversations you're used to. We're going to talk about the games, the X's and O's, the drama. The playoffs are coming up. And now you get to see every episode in full on video on Spotify and on my own YouTube channel. Episodes drop every Monday and Thursday with a collection of guests you're going to love. So make sure you follow and subscribe to the brand new Zach Lowe Show on Spotify or wherever you watch or listen to your podcasts. Let's go!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Death, Taxes, and Bananas podcast, where you can watch this episode and every other episode in full 1080p, which is a few P's higher than what my next guest usually watches things on the internet on. He's more of a 360p type of guy. On YouTube, at our YouTube channel, Ringer Reality TV.YouTube, I think. You should have it by now, but there will definitely be a little subtitle here telling you exactly what it is. Or now, like I've said, Spotify has gotten with the times, and you can watch it on Spotify as well. Here to break down another episode of this absolutely riveting season of All-Stars. And I'm going to bring a guest on who has been gone for a little bit from the show, but still, I absolutely love this man's perspective on the world. I can't tell you how many times this guy has talked me off of a ledge and talked me out of doing some pretty stupid things in the past. He's not just a friend. He's a brother from another mother, a true ride or die, the kind of guy who shows up when the chips are down, even when it costs him. Because believe me, being my friend, not just in life, but on the challenge, is a tall order. And I often say, friends will help you move. Best friends will help you move a body. So he once walked away from the game, hung it up, called it a career, started a family, but legends do not stay retired. And when he came back, he didn't just return, he dominated. So I want to bring my best friend, my ride or die, my dog, Mr. Leroy Garrett, back to the Death, Taxes, and Bananas podcast.
When he came back, he went home first on 40.
This is after 40, though, dude. It's all right.
What a way. He's back. Goes home first.
I mean, listen, dude. I've been there before. Okay,
Yeah.
We've all been there. We've all done that. There are times that there's times that we can perform for a long period of time, and there's other times when we just kind of let it off right away.
Immediately. What's up, bro? How you been, man?
I've been better. I don't know if you know this or not. I don't know if you were even aware, but or cared. But cancel culture is still alive and well. Hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't believe in cancel culture.
Well, I just want you to know that
only when it pertains to me.
Yeah. Well, when it pertains to me, I mean, as it generally does, like it does right now. I'm embroiled in. I don't know if you could believe this, but I'm embroiled in yet another controversy.
No, what happened? You want to talk about it?
I mean, I think we should talk about it. I think you saw the clip already. I was on this show recently called Pop the Balloon, which was essentially, I didn't know what this was before I did it. It was essentially me walking out onto stage into a firing squad. Okay. I literally felt like I was in a firing squad. Like you walk out and there's girls and instead of shooting guns, they like pop balloons.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Half of them were gone. Half my balloons were gone before I even made it to the stage.
Damn.
So I was just firing.
You got balls to do that. There's no way.
Firing from the hip.
Immediately, pop, 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 pop. One balloon left.
No, there was a couple. There was a couple left. But the problem was when they would pop my balloon, and then the host would ask why they popped them, I would insult them in some way, shape, or form. So she asked me, the controversial clip came at the end when she asked me of the girls that I mean, they'd all popped at this point. If there was any that I was attracted to. So obviously, what do you and I have in common when it comes to features that we find attractive on females?
Love some pretty toes.
Pretty toes.
I love some pretty toes. That'll do it right there.
So
The pretty toes will get you every time.
So I'm going down the line kind of looking like, because there wasn't much else to look at. I'm sorry. I'm not sure who cast this. It looked like they put out a Craigslist ad for like influencer rejects. And then this is like the crew that showed up, right?
Yeah, look at this guy digging himself in a deeper hole.
So, buddy, I'm looking down because the only thing I can think of is like, all right, who's got the prettiest toes here? And I look to my left and there is a girl that's dressed like a tree. I mean, she had like, that's the only thing I remember. She had this dress with like leaves on it. And I'm like, this girl definitely doesn't have pretty toes. She looks like she sleeps hanging upside down from a tree. Like a bat. Somehow, because of some camera angles and a lot of misinterpretation intentionally out there in the social media world, it went from me talking about this girl dressed in a dress that looked like a tree who happens to be white to then everyone made it about me pointing to the girl next to her who happens to be black and somehow then turned that into a racist narrative.
Damn, they got you.
I just don't understand how you make that leap. First of all, like I was referring to the girl like having long toes. Bats sleep upside down.
Yeah.
The girl's dressed like a tree. How then that turn? What's that?
So the camera angle went on the black girl's feet, not the white girl's feet?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They set you up for that one, bro.
Man.
They set you up for that one.
But this is what I don't get. This is what I don't get.
Was the girl really offended by it?
No. Well, they were offended for her. So if you watch the clip, the two girls, after I say it, look over their left shoulder, and it's almost as if they are offended for her. Okay?
Yeah.
The girl's standing to their left. But all these people out there are like, oh my God, you said this, this girl looks like she sleeps from a tree upside down. And I'm like, all right, if I was talking about her and her feet, why would you look at the person to your left? So I just don't, this is what I don't get. And maybe you can help me out with this. There's real racism out there in the world, dude. We all know that there is. And there's enough, I feel like, that's really happening that we should actually shine a light on, draw attention to. Why do people go out of their way to try and find racism, sexism, whatever, anti-Semitism? Like, why do people go out of their way to find these things where they don't actually exist?
Yeah. It's the internet, bro. And obviously, I think sometimes things could be taken out of context. Bro, you're not racist. Me hearing this, you have to be a bold motherfucker, bro, to go on national TV to say some racist shit purposely and then be like, okay, cool. So I think that obviously a lot of people don't like you. You got just as many people that like you that don't like you. And that is just what it is, bro. And you're never going to be able to win with the internet. Anything that you post, anything you do, even myself included, is going to always be somebody that has something to say. I think that the people that know you best, know your heart. I think that, to me, I have the same sense of humor as you. I think it's funny. It's probably insensitive to be talking about a girl's feet hanging upside down from a tree, regardless of what she looks like. But I can see how people probably are like, whoa. But people gonna hang on to anything, bro. And then like now you get enough people looking at it, like, oh yeah, he is racist, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's, you know what? It's funny joke, but bad timing, I guess, with the camera angle.
Yeah.
So it's just like, bro, you gotta take it on the chin. And I would like to hear from the girl, because I'm sure that if that's the case, that she probably, like, I don't think she thought she was being racist with it, but
she knew. They all knew. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The problem
so this is the thing. This is the thing, bro. That for me, sometimes stuff that happens on the internet is not real life, right? So like when sometimes people cancel culture, whatever the case may be, or things that happen, that's not real life. it's not. So I was like, I mean, unless you actually really did something that was crazy, then yeah. But it's just
It
like, bro,
kind
it's
of,
a bunch of people.
here's the problem though, and it kind of is real life. And this is what's so unfortunate about cancel culture and the advent of cancel culture and how it's evolved into what it has. Now, if people don't like you, all they need to do is find something that you said or something that you did, or they need to find a way to manipulate something that you said or you did, or misinterpret it, and you're fucking guilty before you can prove yourself innocent.
It's tough. Word of advice: don't just do any old type of show. When you got the email that said "pop my balloon," you should have been like, nah, because that everything about it just screamed like, yeah. It's just people be on there fighting and all type of Yeah, man.
Can I be honest with you? I didn't know what it was. I'd never watched it. I'd never watched an episode. Netflix reached out to me. They're like, we got this funny show. It's live, 1 day shoot. You can take it seriously. You don't have to take it seriously. That's the way I saw it. I saw it as I'm going to go on and I'm going to basically have fun with it. I'm not planning on.
But that type of the pop the balloon, right? When I would watch it on social media, that's the type of thing that could go left. Like people be end up fighting on there, or somebody say something slick, and now that shit live on the internet forever. So like,
yeah, who you telling?
I know. So those type of you don't want to be saying yes to something like that. You should have definitely did a little bit more research. I think that what you said, people are going to hang on to it, but you'll be all right, bro. Like, don't trip.
Listen, man.
Straight. People that know you know what time it is, and listen. No matter what you do, right? Somebody's always going to have something to say. And that's every person and once you put yourself out there on social media, things can get misconstrued. Like the same way a text message can be taken out of context, right? Or whatever the case may be, camera angles, editing, the whole nine. It's just like us as public figures, we run the risk of that happening anytime that we are on a show, anytime that we are going live, anything can happen. So I think that you'll definitely be good. But yeah, no more pop the balloon, bro, and dating shows, and definitely can't be making fun of no girl's feet. Talking about something they hang upside down. I've actually heard you say that joke plenty of times to different people, men or women. But yeah, man.
Well, listen, I've always said this. At the end of the day, the only thing that actually matters, and you know this too, isn't the trolls out there on social media. It isn't the people that don't know me. It isn't the people that know some edited version of me that they've seen on TV or whatever, some clip on the internet or some tweet taken out of context. It's the people that actually fucking know me, who I care about, and who I respect their opinions, as long as my friends, my family, those in my life that are close to me, support me and accept me for who I am and what I do, the ones that really know me. That's all that fucking matters. All right. The rest is just noise.
Yeah. Also too though, bro, like I understand your humor, right? It's the same with me. Like I'll say some jokes to Cam and she'll be like, what? That's not funny. Or she'll take it a certain way. So it's just like, you also got to be kind of aware of that as well in all situations that you're in, because not everybody gets it. And there's also going to be people who are always going to be offended by something or always looking to whatever it is you say. And it sucks to have to like walk into a room and not actually be yourself. But I mean, with us having this platform, we have to be very careful, bro, because I've seen a ton of people in all different races, genders or whatever, go down because of, something that somebody thought. But I think, like you said, I love you, bro. And if I felt like that you were saying something, hey, we couldn't even be friends if I thought you was racist. That would be over with starting today. But it's like, okay, like it's a wrap, bro. Actually, I'm going to beat you up when I see you. First thing I'm doing. But yeah, you'll be straight, man. You just gotta be careful out there, man. The streets is wild.
Streets is wild, man. Streets is wild. All right. Well, enough about me. How about you? How are the babies? How's Cam? How's fatherhood?
Babies are good. Kingston is about to turn 3 next month. Aria just turned 1. She's walking. I'll be 40 next month. Cam is doing great. She's out of town right now. I'm going to be home with the kids by myself for 2 days. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I've been sitting here at this kitchen table praying, just talking to God, just to see if he can get me through these 48 hours with a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old going at it. It's going to be tough, man. This is way harder than any challenge I've ever done. I'm actually scared, bro.
This is the real life. This is the real.
I keep looking at the clock. I'm like, oh fuck, man, they about to come home soon.
You got it, dude. I'm not even kidding. And I know you capture a lot of content, and you probably don't want to do it all the time. But dude, I think this, like, just what you described, you being at home on your own, taking care of, dude. Just when we were on the phone the other day, and you were trying to figure out who doo-dooed their pants, and you were like, I don't know if it's Kingston. No, it's definitely Arya. It's definitely Arya. Arya doo-doo pants. But like, just like hearing like that exchange and you and Cam talking about that, it's always so funny. It happens with like when my sisters, when you hear parents talking to their kids and the conversations that they're having with them and the things they're telling them not to do, or why did you do that? It's always the funniest shit to hear, because it's like, that would never come out of my mouth on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
No,
but
at all.
for you,
it never,
it's so natural.
Bro, it's so, I mean, just 2-3 years ago, it wouldn't come out of my mouth, especially even when I was living in Vegas. I couldn't even imagine it. But I just adapted to it. And I definitely was trying to, now I have two that are in diapers, right? Kingston's on his way out of diapers. And he's at a point where he's almost potty trained where he'll just take a shit and be like, hey man, change my diaper. If you are able to squat in the middle of my kitchen, then you need to go get your ass on the toilet, bro. Like flat out. Pissing me off, man. And my son, he's too big to be doing that, but it's just like, yeah, man.
Yeah,
but
3 years ago, the only person shitting himself in your apartment was you after a fucking long night out.
Pretty much.
Waking up in a puddle of regret.
Or shitting myself as soon as the night started.
Oh, yeah.
Stomach start hurting out of nowhere. I wonder why.
I wonder why. Well, I love that, man. So your birthday, so we're going to be the big 4-0 soon.
Yeah,
you know where I celebrated? You know where I celebrated my 40th birthday?
In LA? Was it LA? I forgot what you did.
On the challenge, dude.
Oh, that's right.
Ride
Was
or
it Ride or Dies? That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Yep, I remember that.
Have you ever done a birthday on the challenge?
Dirty 30. Remember when I got drunk with CT and I was throwing up everywhere? They ended up making me that cake or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I think that might have been the only one. That was Colombia. Yep. Speaking of Colombian poo-poo powder.
Speaking of Colombia, the real birthday party took place after we got out.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I'm about to be 40. I'm starting to feel it. Definitely starting to feel 40. A couple of young kids start calling me Unc. That's short for uncle. That lets you know that you're getting old, mustache getting real thick, not really taking care of my grooming, and just back starting to hurt, knees, arthritis, all type of shit going on, man. I'm like, damn, 40 is here.
You got any grays coming in?
I got one in my chin hair. Cam is swearing that I dye my hair. So I think it'll be a while before I get the grays.
I got a few.
Yeah, you got a few.
They're coming in. They're coming in nice. Mm-hmm. I like to call them them highlights, though. They're more highlights.
I'm actually looking forward to getting the grays. I think it's a good thing.
Looks sophisticated.
Mm-hmm. Well, older, silver fox.
That's awfully nice of them, though, to have made you a cake on your birthday on the challenge. Because you know what they did? They fucking jumped me.
Did they?
Jumped. Like, I shit you not. It was actually, like, I almost feel like, and you know how it is. When you're on the challenge, especially the longer you're there for, the less people want to celebrate you. In the beginning, before lines are drawn, everyone's still buddy. That's the best time to have a birthday, right? Because everyone's getting along.
Everybody's friends.
As the season goes on, you know how it gets. Factions, alliances, lines get drawn. And like, if you're not fucking with someone and like you don't like someone, you're beef with them, the last thing you want to do is sing them happy birthday.
Give a fuck about your birthday.
Yeah. So that's kind of what happened.
Fuck you and your birthday.
So
and
that's
fuck
kind of
your mama.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of happened to me. My birthday just happens to be like halfway through the episode. They had this plan. I come in, unbeknownst to me, that they're going to fucking assault me. Bro, before I know it, I get hit. Dude, Horacio comes up with the cake from behind me, smothers me in the face, but like not just like a funny ha ha ha. Like actually shoves it into my face so hard that I thought I was going to fucking suffocate. And then people just started pelting me with fucking bananas. They had pillows with bike locks in them, hit me over the fucking head with those.
Oh, yeah, like some prison.
Tube socks and bars of soap.
They was on it. Horacio meant that. He tried to knock some of them teeth out. You want to dance, old man? That's funny.
Dude, well.
Yeah, celebrating birthdays on a challenge. Yeah, I mean, it's just part. At first, I always wondered would I ever do it, and it's just like, I mean, it's just another day. It's part of the job, bro. It's part of the job.
I was actually happy that I celebrated my 40th birthday on the challenge and not like in real life because I almost felt I didn't want to have a lot of fanfare on my 40th birthday. I don't want to celebrate being fucking 40,
Yeah.
but you know, then I've had the last two kind of off. But I mean, I'm not going to lie. And I know this might sound like bullshit, but I actually feel better. I feel like I'm in a better place physically and mentally in my 40s, definitely than I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And better place than I was for most of my 30s.
I can. Well, I'm not. I'll be 40, but I can agree to that. I feel like my best years are ahead of me. Right, my 20s was just a train wreck. My 30s was just like I'm still trying to figure it out. Now it's just like I feel like you definitely matured way more than from when I first met you. Vice versa. I'm excited to turn 40. I really just want to be low key with it, spend some time with the family. And my son's birthday is the next day, so my birthday is the 16th of May. His birthday is the next day, so my birthday really don't matter. It's more about him turning 3 than it is about me turning 40. So,
You
yeah.
guys, but emotionally, you guys will be around the same age.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm definitely 3 years old. Definitely 3 years old. Pee on myself, blurt out random shit in public. I have temper tantrums when Cam tell me I can't hang out with my friends, all that type of shit. So at heart, I'm definitely 3, just like my son. We are the exact same.
You and me both, brother. All right, so let's talk about this season of Rivals. How did you get paired up with Devin as your rival? Was that like because him and I are beefed out? It's almost as if it's like they're like, well, Leroy and Bananas are like one and the same. His enemies are going to be the same as Bananas' enemies. So let's just make Devin Leroy's rival too. Or did you guys actually have beef coming into this season?
No, I mean, definitely, I don't think they try to partner this up because y'all beefing maybe. But what happened was on Double Agents, I did like a slick move behind Devin's back. Of like, it was something weird with the voting because we had a vote in private or whatever. And me and Cam, we were just being kind of dirty to everybody. He ended up finding out about it. And sometimes I think if they want you on the show bad enough, right? The same with you and Nani being ride or dies, right? Y'all were just exes, and now you guys are. If they want you on the show bad enough, they'll find any way to have you on there. So I think it was one of those type moments. I wasn't planning on like we kind of already thought it might be a rivals thing. I thought I would be partnering with Veronica because of the burn vote on Dirty 30. I don't know. They could make up anything if they want Leroy on there. They're gonna do whatever. And when I found out that he was my partner, it made me feel uncomfortable. It made me feel uncomfortable, meaning the fact that like I feel like they're just trying to give me a win because looking at the cast, it was only 2 guy pairs, me and Devin versus girl teams and guy teams. So athletically or just anything of that nature, and we're actual challengers, right? Some of the people that could perform on All Stars couldn't do a challenge. So like, they must just be trying to hand me the money. So it made me feel a little like, damn, like this is. What are people going to say if I win this? Oh, you only won because you got Devin and you're going against a girl team.
Yep.
So that's what my true thoughts was. But no, for real, that's exactly what would happen. That's how I felt when I looked at, okay, you had Veronica and Katie. There's no way if it's a real final that they're about to beat me and Devin, or if there's a challenge to where you have to do something with a ton of endurance. Not knocking them.
Depends on the final. If it's a who can consume most bottles of red wine, you guys are fucked.
Yeah, cooked. There's no way we'll be able to beat them.
But if it's a who has worse hygiene and who has a partner whose breath smells like dog shit final, bro, you guys, it's you guys by a country mile.
Oh man, you ain't right though. Poor hygiene. Breath smells like dog shit. Damn. I like Devin, man. Leave Devin alone, bro. Devin is cool.
I don't care. Listen, I'm fine with him too, man. He just doesn't like me. I guess I don't know.
That's funny, but
still can't figure out why.
Yeah, me neither. But the season overall, when I first seen what the season was going to be, I thought for sure that we had it in the bag. I was like, we're about to win this easily. And also coming from All Stars 4, where they're making the challenges is like it's anybody's game to win. I'm like, all right, we should be able to, do this. And then as you start watching the season, as you see Steve and Adam going in, they were going in against girl teams. So it's like, and as I looked at those eliminations, Devin and I could have won those. The one that got sent home on was like,
The
okay, that was
barrels.
pretty fair. Yeah, that was pretty fair. That was really fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for the most part, it was definitely lopsided. It was a really lopsided season.
So what I've heard from multiple people, mostly Flagship people going to All-Stars, is there's almost like this visceral hatred towards Flagship competitors from people who are basically like All-Stars,
Yes.
comebacks. What did you sense that? Like, and what do you think that's all about?
Yeah, everybody that's an all-star that hasn't been on in years always talking about the Flagship. And I'm like, I never even really heard Flagship until I got to all-stars. I'm like, what is the Flagship? This is, I'm like, what are they talking about? But yeah, they don't like the actual challenge. But some of the people, and I mean this respectfully, that can do all-stars, they can't compete on a challenge because it's just way too hard.
Yeah, I agree.
It's totally different. Not even just because of the actual challenges, but the mental part of the game. It's just a total different game.
How's it different? What are the big
All Stars is easier mentally because we're only there for like 4 or 5, maybe like 5 weeks, right? The challenges aren't as challenging from the ones I did. Like they had a few, right? That was kind of like that could be on a challenge Flagship tier, but for the most part, nah. And it's more lax. Like people there chilling. It's like a nostalgic vibe, pretty much, right? And so I'm not knocking anybody who has like the first 2, I think, or the first 3 were like they had some like tough challenges on there. But 4 and 5, it was just like, And so I'm not the best competitor, so I probably belong on All Stars because
now we've done some recent challenges together. Okay, some more recent than others, and
no comparison.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No comparison.
Okay, and as much as you look at a Steven and Adam, that pair on a All Stars, okay, and how much they stood out amongst the other teams, it's almost as if it's like being a big fish in a small pond. Okay,
yeah.
You then take that big fish in a small pond and you put him in the Flagship. That's like a fucking being in an ocean, dude. And it's and I don't think that. I said this on my last podcast, and Frank kind of got offended for Adam, but he was like, dude, he wants to be on the show so bad, it's going to break his heart if he hears you saying he wouldn't survive. And it's not a knock on him. It's not like saying, yo, you aren't a good competitor. It's just the speed, the game speed that the people on All Stars who have come back after a long time are used to. Bro, they would be in so far over their head going on the Flagship.
Bro, 1,000%. First of all, love Adam. I think he's a great competitor. I've had a chance to go back on YouTube and watch him compete back in the day. But where he is in his life right now, with 2 daughters at home, and coming to a game that's night and day from the Flagship, he would get eaten alive on there. Not even because of the challenges. There's some challenges that he could do. Like the guy has good endurance, he can swim, whatever the case may be. But the actual mental part of the game and how it works, it's like even now when they kept getting thrown in over and over again, they didn't even know what to do. Like they were just so it's the All Stars is way lighter. Do I think that he could compete? Yeah, I think he could definitely compete, but it's more the challenge is more than just what you could do in a daily or in an elimination. And then also for a final. I think it would have been very tougher probably everybody that was in that final to do an actual Flagship final, right? And they're all challengers. I'm not taking nothing away from them, but I've done 6 or 7 finals, and I'm talking about some of the hardest ones. And it's just like it would be very hard. Now Frank, right? Frank is an actual challenger. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Frank showed up in tip-top shape. He could do it. I'm sure Shane probably could do it too, maybe. But it's just like it takes a different breed if you haven't done it. So I always say when I first started doing it, there's some people who could. Like Cam. Cam wouldn't be able to do no challenge no more. There's no way. First of all, the mental part of the game, how long she has to be gone away from her children, all these different things come into play when you talk about doing the Flagship, not just about like if you're in the best shape or not. And you got somebody like yourself with no children. It's gonna be a lot easier for you to get through the game. Obviously, you're gonna deal with other things, but it's just like Jordan has no children, right? For CT to be able to make it through a whole season, not seeing his kid, like it takes a whole lot. So I think that people especially that are on the older side that are coming back, yeah, they'll get ate up, bro.
So you're saying that some of the older guys, if they went into say balls in against Tony,
They'll get fucked up the same way I did. Because in my mind, I thought like, y'all about to dog this fool, and yeah, it's just not happening. And
Sonic
this is
coins, Sonic
bro,
coins.
boy, listen, when Tony hit me, when TJ was like, all right, Leroy, you got to pick it up. I'm like, TJ, give me my plane ticket, bruh. Get me up out of here. This country white boy is strong from Louisiana. I was like, I got drugs. So yeah, it's just different, man. But I respect and love all of the people who are that done All Stars or whatever the case may be, but they know it's different. And challengers though, they know.
So you definitely think that it makes sense, and I've said this, there should be too. It's almost as if it's like there's, the flagship, which would be, I feel like, I don't know, like the NFL or, the pros. And then there's All Stars, which is more of like the AAA, the AAA squad before you get into like almost like a feeder system.
Yeah, I mean, so call it what you want, but someone like All Stars isn't for you, bro. Right? It's like if CT was to pull up on All Stars, we'd be like, he's not there yet. I'm All Star. I've been an All Star caliber when I was doing Flagship, so I'm built for All Stars. So it's just like even when they had like Jordan and Weston them pulling up on All Stars, it's like it's kind of taken away from it because y'all can still like actually really do the challenge. I can a little bit, but All Stars is more for somebody like I said, like a Cam. Cam got on there and actually was like, she's afraid of heights now. She didn't jump. You can't do that on Flagship.
Yeah.
They sending your ass in.
Yeah.
You out of there. So,
I mean, it's crazy because you guys filmed All Stars in all the same locations. It's so funny watching it because I'm like, it's almost like we did the exact same. We were in the same locations, and the challenges were just slightly different, right?
Yeah.
The building challenge, for example, that nobody jumped off of. Every single person on the Flagship literally took a fucking 15-story, 150 feet off an 82-story building leap of faith. Mm-hmm. And then when it came to All Stars, they're like, nah, we're good. No thanks.
Yeah, 100%. It's more lax. Like, so Stephen Adam did it. So like I said, some people have it in their heart. They have the heart of a challenger to do certain things. But when you know how hot it was in Vietnam, right?
Oh,
so
God.
We had a couple of challenges where we had to do like some running or whatever. It's just a lot of them wouldn't make it. And they know that. And it's not I'm not saying it in a bad way, you know what I'm saying? But shit, damn it, I can't even make it, you know? Yeah. So when you're talking about people who are, Steve is like, damn, they're 50 years old. Bad knees, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get cooked on there, bro. You'll get cooked. So I think that, and these are all great competitors, by the way, but I think it's just a different, it's totally different.
Father time's undefeated, bro. And there's sometimes it happens to me all the time. My mind is like, you got this, you can do this. And your body's like, no, the fuck you don't.
I agree. I mean, you know what? That's exactly what happened with Tony. In my mind, I was like, I'm thinking I'm Leroy that's 26, 27. First of all, bananas, I have no grip strength. I have no endurance. Can't swim. I'm afraid of heights. I thought I could count. Can't do puzzles. Like, wait a minute. But in my mind, you get a puzzle in front of me. I'm like, oh, I got this. Or, all right, Leroy, go ahead and hold on as long as you can. I can do this. No. Remember when we was on Battle of the Exes too? When I hung onto them ropes? Yes. I'm not doing that no more. It's over with.
Yeah.
40 is here. And when I went against Tony, it was a rude awakening for myself because I'm in shape amongst my peers that I went to high school with. Like everybody who I grew up with. I'm like the dominant one. Oh, he's still athletic. No, when you talk about somebody like Tony who really been working out every day, doing whatever, and I show up thinking I'm about to run him over. Lee, you weigh 180 pounds soaking wet. You just ran a half marathon. You're not running anybody over.
You'd have a tough time. Dude, if Kingston had a full load in his diaper, you probably couldn't run him over.
Bro, I'm cooked, bro. I'm cooked. So it's just like, nah. But so are people from All Stars offended about the difference with...
This is what I'm saying. I haven't been there, obviously, but this is what I've heard. Yeah. I've heard from, I'm pretty sure Devin, Jordan, Wes especially, they were like, dude, when we went on All Stars, there was almost like this fucking, like this envy, hatred, jealousy, whatever you want to
They
call
talk
it.
shit about it. They talk shit about the flagship. And
That's
I'm just like,
but
what?
the people from it's almost as if it's like there's this territorial nature where it's like you don't belong here. This is our thing. You guys need to like, you aren't welcome. And that's what I'm saying. Like, did you feel that? And if you did, like, where do you think that's coming from?
I mean, I definitely felt it a little bit, but I'm cool with everybody. So for me, it doesn't matter. I know in my mind, as I'm looking at competitors, who could do the flagship and who can't, who should not get a call to do it. And also, to be quite honest, I had to dumb it down on All Stars 5 because I was paired up with Devin. Some of the challenges, I was like, man, like, it's so lopsided with us being two challengers and a guy pair against two girls. What am I? How am I supposed to celebrate that I just ran faster than them and did whatever? Like it just wasn't for that particular season. For me, I feel like it wasn't evenly matched up. Obviously, it's good that we want to get Steve and Adam, but yeah, absolutely not. And then also some of the challenges is just not the same. The heights. I remember on the we did a trivia challenge. They lowered it to like 20 feet that's huge.
Yeah. 15 feet makes a big difference.
Yeah, bro.
Makes a big difference.
Yep. But overall, I do love All Stars. I do love the nostalgicness of it. I do like that they're giving people opportunities who haven't been on there in years, such as a Steven, Adam, or Ayana, or Tech, or whoever the case may be. I think that there are people who we haven't seen in a long time that, like a Derek, right? Derek used to always get sent home early. Derek Chavez, he was actually able to come on to All Stars and show that he can actually compete on the challenge, right? A Nehemiah, who else that we haven't seen in a long time came on actual All Stars and was able to like go back onto the actual flagship. There's very few people that can actually still do it, but it's giving people opportunities, and I don't think there's a lot left that can actually still do it.
Yeah,
right. If they would have put, I don't think there's a lot of people left.
It's hard, man. When you step away from the show for a while and then you try and come back, you do not realize. Yeah, it's almost like you think, oh yeah, because that's the show ages in reverse.
Yeah,
the competition gets younger, more fierce, more hungry, more athletic, more competitive. All right, so your big kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, the big fracture for you this season, or the big storyline that kind of came about with you, was this dust up between Dario and yourself. And again, I want you to put this into context, because I have to take pause sometimes when I'm watching, as somebody that knows that it's like, all right, they're obviously going to edit things sometimes to make them look worse than they actually are. And it looks like Dario did some grimy shit to you. Obviously being your homie, being your friend, the history that you guys had, and then almost being part of this scheme, or going along with this scheme, to throw in you and Devin versus Adam and Steve to try and get rid of one of the guy pairs. So kind of what about that narrative and that dust up was accurate, and then what was kind of misrepresented?
I think that Dario probably found out some information. Dario was looking at it like this, right? Obviously, we come to the game, we're aligned together, we're brothers, right? But as the game starts going, he's like, well, shit. If he knew that he had no chance of winning if I was still going to be in the game. So I don't think that he was like trying to plot behind me, but he probably heard something and was going to tell me, or maybe not tell me, or whatever. Say if I never would have found out about it. It's just weird to explain. So when I found out that he had heard something, because when I found out he was getting voted in, I told him I tried to do whatever I could do to stop it. And I thought alliances like work that way. Like I didn't know that, like, I thought we protect each other all the way through and through.
Fair weather alliances.
Yeah. So what, really quickly before I get into it, what I learned from that situation is moving forward, if I ever am aligned with anybody, I need to find out, what is this alliance, right? Are we just not saying each other's name, or are we not saying each other's names and we're going to try to help protect each other in case something is happening? this never was talked about. I thought it was just like what's understood don't got to be explained.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah. And so when it did happen, where I'm at now with about to turn 40 and just life and challenges or whatever, I also have to look at it from other people's lenses as well, right? I could look at it like, oh, me. I can't believe you did so and so to me and blah, blah, blah. I really just didn't care. Like for me, regardless of whether I don't think his intentions was like, man, I want to get Lee up out of here. He probably was just like in the pickle, like, man, do I say something? If I say something, then I ain't gonna be able to win this money. Everybody says what they would do as a viewer, until you're in that position when it comes to some money, right? And so for me personally, it wasn't worth me losing my friendship with him over, how much is the prize pot? I think maybe like 200,000 for first place.
Yeah, but you can't look at it from just a monetary perspective, dude. Like, okay, the way that I see it is this. Like, again, you're my fucking brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
We go on to a show. I don't need to check in with you and be like, hey, man, are we still good? Does this mean if someone's like trying to fucking target me behind my back, even though you know that like it's probably not the best for your game to have me there in the end, are you going to try and help push that narrative forward? You're not going to do anything. I know you're not going to do that, and I'm obviously not going to do that, and that discussion doesn't need to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
The issue that I have with situations like this, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so surprised that Devin got all fucking hot under the collars, because this is Devin's fucking bread and butter. This is his forte, all right? He makes alliances with people that are constantly changing, so confusing, so convoluted. There's an expiration date on this one. This is a transferable deal. And also I'm going to leave it very vague. What's in the fine print of our alliance, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm not going to say your name. I'm not going to vote for you. But if I hear your name being talked about somewhere, I might fucking sprinkle a little bit of controversy on it. I might try and like push that narrative together. And I'm not going to try and stop these people from saying it. And I feel like that's just kind of a grimy way to play the game. Like you said, the people that you need to have those conversations with, like where are we at? How are we going to protect each other? The Wesses, the Devins, the CTs. Yeah, where it's like,
for sure.
What the fuck is this? Like, I need to know fine print detailed. With the guy like Dario, I feel like you shouldn't have had to have that conversation. I feel like that should have been understood. And this is what pissed me off about like the whole Sarah situation, right? And you were there for that. On X's too, Sarah wanted us to be in an alliance together until it was convenient to not be in the alliance anymore, until she got to the end and got what she wanted, and then she cut my throat. Where it's like, if you would have just been upfront with me and I understood that's what it was, it wouldn't have been as much of a betrayal. And I think from Dario's perspective, like, dude, yeah, I get that maybe I wasn't going to be, maybe who you wanted to run against in the final or compete against. But by having me here throughout the rest of the game is going to help you too, because we're probably going to win and be able to protect you. So it's like, you can't have them both.
Yeah. You know what? And I want to actually, I actually want to do a podcast with him to further get him to explain. So even after it all happened, how I look at it is like, I mean, people don't even know the history that I have with him. How close we are. I mean, I talked to him just as much as I talked to you. I probably talked to him even more. And even like you said with the Sarah thing or whatever, back to that, like, yeah, you thought y'all were good, and then this happened. You're like, well, damn, I didn't know that. So when I found it out, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And Devin was really upset about it. But I think it's like, it's up to me to how I take it, right? For me, I don't want to, I feel like I've had run-ins with my family at home in my home life. And it's like, do I stop loving them or do I stop being cool with them? Because it would be different if it was like, let's say it was Devin who had done that to me. We were working together. Me and Devin don't got no history of being friends. So it probably should stem from Dario. But in all honesty, bro, it just didn't. I still love him the same. I didn't. And maybe, and you always said this, you said this to me a few times. You're like, Lee, you only see the good in people. And I can only still see the good in him. For me, it's just like, man, you know, it is what it is. The challenge to me isn't my real life. And I'm gonna stand on it. I'm not willing to let something that happened on TV over some money come in between. I know his mama, right? To let it come. And he feels really bad about it. You know, he spoke to me about it. He feels really bad about it. But for me, I'm like, bro, don't lose no sleep over it. Like, I'm not tripping. Now, obviously, if we go into another game together, then obviously I know how we need to play it. But it's just, you know, you live and you learn. But I can't. What am I supposed to do? Like, all right, bro, you I'm never talking to you again
No.
or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying
You
like,
know,
hey, dude,
I know
like
I know
send this
you're not,
dude to
but
the gallows.
yeah,
My only point is I do think that conversation needs to take place because for as much as like Devin and I disagree on a lot of shit, I think him kind of calling him out the way they did. Now the after of math, like I'd beat your fucking ass, and
yeah,
like if we squared up, like that's
yeah,
stupid. Like
yeah,
relax, all right, relax.
yeah,
But at the same time, I really do think whether Devin was just doing it out of, kind of convenience for himself and his game by looking like he was protecting you, even though maybe in a different situation, if he wasn't paired up with you, he probably wouldn't. What he was saying, I do feel like was accurate. And I do think that Dario being your guy and being your boy, and the fact that you guys are friends outside of this, and his mama, and the fact that all the shit that you guys been through, I feel like he at least owed that to you, at least like an explanation to be like, because what his explanation was, well, it's better for my game if you guys aren't here. Like,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
No,
also, but what I'm saying is it's also good for his game if you are there, because
yeah,
you being arguably the strongest, if not the second strongest team there, is going to potentially help protect him and get him further in the game
yeah.
as well.
Once I found out what was going on, for me, it wasn't worth like the going back and forth and having a comment. Once I knew where he stood, I'm like, all right, I don't. What you just said, I shouldn't even have to explain that. So I'm like, all right, bro, I know where we stand, and let the game continue. And the way Devin felt about it, I felt like it was genuine. He was like, damn, bro, like, it's supposed to be your boy. How could he do this? And Devin looking at me like, bro, Lee, you supposed to be mad how I am. And I'm just like, bro, I'm not even, I just wasn't tripping about it. Maybe one day I will, but him and I have had a conversation about it there as soon as he came home. And I just kind of just left it to where it is. Obviously, I know how to move forward if we ever play a game again together. I know he does feel really, it'd be different if he came home and was like, yeah, man, I did that. And that just is what it is. I'd be like, well, then I really can't. I don't know if I can message, but he does feel bad about it. And things do happen, right? I'll use, for instance, me give you a 1. That shit really bothered me, even though you, when you asked me about it, because I'm like, oh, you said you was about to leave or whatever the case. It wasn't no ill intentions behind it. But do we stop being friends? Right? Does that change our relationship? Or I remember talking to Naya when we had X's too, and you jumped off or whatever to save yourself. And you explained it to me after the final. Does that mean that like, hey, you and I aren't going to be cool anymore? So I just kind of look at it like there's only a select few guys from the show who I truly, genuinely like love and F with. And I try to, for me, it's like I have to like try to move past it. And then also I have to look at, okay, yes, this just happened to me on a challenge. A lot of this correlates with real life. Now, I've done a lot of fucked up shit to people, right? To whether they know about it or not. So I feel like sometimes it's kind of like hypocritical. And that's where I'm at with my growth and how I'm looking at certain things. Like, all right, Lee, yeah, you did this, but I got skeletons in my closet. Nobody know about the things I've done to people. So who am I to be sitting here trying to, obviously that's deeper, but that's just how I take things, when things happen to me.
But that's what I'm saying. You're talking about accountability, all right? You've taken accountability for things that you've done in the past. I've taken accountability for things I've done in the past. And that's all I'm saying. From a friend to a friend, you just got to expect them to take accountability, because people are going to do fucking every once in a while, do some shit that they don't mean, and they're going to do dirt. But as long as they take accountability for it and they're like, yo, dude, this was some fucked up shit. Didn't mean it. Still love you.
Yeah.
Keep it moving.
He said, he was like, man, he was like, he felt like he took my chances away of winning, because had that not happened, right, we would have probably skated all the way to the end.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess you could say that, but no, anything that happens to me on a challenge, bro, I always look at it like, all right, what could I have done differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't have had to ask where we stand. But now knowing that moving forward, I'll always play a game like that with anybody. Obviously, I don't have to ask you, but anybody, right? I ain't got to ask that to Nani, but the other challenges that you named that we said we were in an alliance with, sometimes you miss certain things. You can go back like, damn, I should have said whatever. Now I know moving forward, if we're in an alliance, we're not voting for each other. If we hear something, we're going to say something about it, and we're going to try to protect each other. And if they say, okay, that's not the way I want it, well, how is this alliance working? I'm just not saying your name. Okay, then I know where we stand. But it could definitely get really dicey And when you're talking about money, it can really drive a wedge in between people. And like I said, I still love him. Obviously he did something that was pretty effed up, but whatever.
Do you think it's also, here's the thing, people like you and I and, the Devons, other people on the show that do this, like have done so many of them and have been on so often. It's almost as if it's like, maybe we just don't necessarily take it as seriously because it's like, all right, there'll be another one. Whereas maybe like a Dario who hasn't done a season in a long time, doesn't know if he'll ever come back. It's like they might white knuckle it and take it a lot more seriously.
That's a very valid point. History has shown that there will always be another one, right? Even off my first one, I thought that was going to be the last one. That when we did Rivals 1. So yeah, and I think also too, just where I'm at, bro. You've won 7 times. You feel what I'm saying? So it's just like, all right, you done been through every emotion you could possibly deal with. Going to a final and winning, losing second place, going home first, have somebody backstab you. So it's just like there's nothing else that somebody could do. I think me going home on 40 was another thing to add. Like, all right, I went home first. So I done been through all these experiences. Only experience I haven't been through is winning. Shit. That's it. So now it's just like add something else.
You have, dude. You've been through it all, bro.
I've been through the ringer with it, man. And you know what? In all honesty, bro, I wouldn't change it. Like, obviously, I would love to have won, but the experiences, the people I've met, it also kind of like helped shape me. But to the people who are listening to this and that are angry about it, I just say, like, man, I'm sure you done some fucked up shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No one's angry. Listen, I'm not angry about it.
I know you're not. He's told me that he's been getting a lot of heat about it.
Yeah.
Like, man, don't trip over it, bro.
I just wanted to clarify it for, the masses out there. And I wanted to also kind of give you my vantage point and a little bit of context for my.
Yeah. Even Cam, when Cam seen it, Cam was like, what the hell?
Yeah, Cam
was tripping. She was like, wait a minute. And so as I had she seen it, because we didn't watch it together. I think I did Anissa's podcast or something like that. And Cam was just like, wait, what? I was explaining to her about what happened when she watched it on TV. She was like, what? She was like, yo, I don't know about this.
Now, this kind of mixes into that whole thing. Did you feel like there was, like, the way that the All-Star house is, and there's always gossip in challenge houses. Do you feel like there was, like, more of that, more of, like, the false information being spread around and the lies and the deceit? And I mean, there was the whole episode about who's they, right?
Yeah.
Frank ended up taking credit for they because everything was like, they said this, they said that. Did you feel like there was more of that, more misinformation, more lies, more deceit, more just like fucking bullshit being spread around on All Stars than on the normal season of the challenge?
Hell yeah. I mean, you're also dealing with people who haven't done the show in a very long time again. So it was a whole bunch of that. I would be sitting in conversations with people like, who are you talking about? And what are you talking about? And like, why can't, you try to get a name out of them, but they're trying to spin it. And it's just like leaving you really, really confused. It's not to say that people on the actual Flagship are super straight up, but definitely had me kind of like a dog chasing his tail.
Do you feel like there was somebody that, because Frank obviously ended up, trying to take, credit for being they in the end. Like he was the one that was the puppet master and spreading all this. But did you feel like, especially now watching it back, who do you think was kind of, the one that was most responsible for that? I mean, Shane, Veronica, Frank, Corey, Nicole.
I mean, could be Corey. Could be Corey. Veronica, I don't know, but I mean, Frank for sure. Frank was like in everybody's ear. Frank was Frank was gaming. Frank came there to actually game. I think also he didn't have a lot of confidence in his partner. And I love Sam or whatever, and I think that's probably why that was going
on. Were you surprised that Frank and Shane butted heads so much? Like Frank wouldn't even talk about him.
Johnny, I didn't watch the season. I don't know.
They weren't beefing. They weren't beefing when you were there, though.
Nah, not that I know of.
Okay.
I mean, bro. Yeah, for me, bro, while I was there, I was pretty much oblivious to anything that was going on around me. To be completely honest, this is what I thought the whole time. I got this in the bag. I'm about to win this whole season easily. Once we start doing these challenges, I was like, it's game over. Me and Devin. And what's so crazy, I didn't even realize that people was plotting against me. Like, we're the best. I've never been the best team. One of the best teams. I've always been the person that's trying to plot against get somebody else out. So I was walking around chilling, bro, drinking yoo-hoos, sitting in my bed, chilling, thinking about what I'm gonna do when I get home with the grand prize money I'm about to win. I was big chilling, bro. And then boom, Dario backstabbed me. Boom, all this stuff started happening. I'm like, whoa.
That's how it goes. You'll go 1
Yeah.
second from being on top of a fucking mountain to on an island, dude.
Bro, quickly.
Well, now
as I was watching the final.
Yeah.
One thing I can say about All Stars, what I did enjoy like watching this final, because it's like it's anyone's game. Obviously now, on the flagship, as we keep going back and forth about. Yeah, ain't none of that. Ain't none of these old little BS games. Nah, it might be those type of checkpoints, but to get to that checkpoint, they were riding in cars. They were hanging up like they were like they was in a Jeep or something. Like they was on Baywatch in the sand, pulling up to a checkpoint to do like 15 minutes worth of work, and then be like, cool. That's sweet.
Yeah. I mean, but watching that, does that make it a little more bitter to you? You're like, damn, dude, like we fucking could have had this thing.
I mean, but even, no, because I thought it was carnival gamey, but it's still like, no, you're right. I definitely seen that shit, man. We could have had this in the bag for sure.
Are you surprised? Sure. Are you surprised after day one that Shane and Devon are actually beating Adam and Steve?
Very surprised. I thought for sure that Adam and Steve was going to be blowing everybody out of the water. But like I said, they made the finals like anybody's game.
Yeah,
which is fair, right?
I agree.
Yeah, and they told us that at the beginning of the season. They kept like saying it because people were getting upset. Like, we're never going to be able to beat two guys. Blah blah blah. I'm sitting on the back of the bus, chilling like, you damn right. You're motherfucking right. Yeah. Anything physical, you're done. You're through. But
sinking down in the back seat, like,
bro, Johnny, try not to be seen. I promise you on everything I love. I was like, man, like me just keep skating by. But no, I think it makes it really fair with that being anybody's game, and I'm actually rooting for Davon and Shane to pull it out.
Me too. I'm actually gonna
I had no idea they had that much beef.
Yeah, I didn't either. Well, I'm actually gonna have Davon on next week so we can get to the bottom of all this.
Yeah.
Well, I was bummed to see you go, man. I was really pulling for you in this one. I mean, it would have stung a little bit if you got your first win with Devin. But
so you was rooting against me.
Me and Dario, we actually called each other. I'm like, wait, you're rooting against him too, right? He's like, yes. I'm like, good. Fuck this motherfucker.
Yeah, man. It definitely would have been good to get that first win, but
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I actually want the first win to be on the flagship, which would be tough.
Yeah.
Tough, man. Like the challenge, it's just, for me, it's just gotten harder because obviously I'm like, for you, bro, I don't know. Like the way you compete hasn't dropped, right? You still can go on a challenge and the first challenge still come in first place. Like you get up, like that's not, like I'm on a decline and you're still like either on your way up, you can still do it. A lot of it, I'm like, man, I don't know. I ain't really trying to jump out that building. I didn't want to do that.
I didn't either.
Luckily, they had the weather that had us do it. Because I told Devin, I said, I'm not doing this, bro. He's like, no, we're doing it. Because I asked, so if he would have jumped off, I would have went with him because we were connected. So, yeah, I belong on All Stars. They don't need to be calling me for the challenge no more because I ain't doing that.
Well, maybe I'll see you there one day, Lee, because I'm getting there
now,
too,
listen,
bro.
If you come, that would be dope. That would be fun. Maybe they can make us ride or dies on there.
Yes.
Go ahead and run and get my first championship with you.
If they do that, that's what I'm going to tell them. I'll be like, I will come on All Stars on one condition. You make
would
me
you
and
ever
Lee.
Do it though?
It would all depend on the format, dude. It would all have to depend on like.
But you're not going to know the format. You're not going to know the format.
I'm just saying, if they were like, hey, listen, like they did with Ride or Dies. They were like, who are your Ride or Dies? We kind of knew going in. If they do that with All Stars.
Yeah, I think that you should try it, bro. Because the challenge is it's less stressful.
Yeah.
And it's more like of a fun vibe. I wish the flagship was like that. Now the flagship, you got them to be an Olympian.
I know. No, it's true.
They had you and Jordan out there swimming with no life vest.
Bro.
Johnny, this is my question. Why did they cast me for 40 when they knew damn well that if I'd have got to that final, I'd have been help, 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 help. Help, help, help. No vest? Y'all was swimming like the length of like 3 football fields with no vest.
It was disgusting, dude. It was disgusting.
Crazy. Yeah, I'm about to live on All Stars. I'll see everybody on All Stars 6. I'm not sure if they're gonna cast me, but I'm calling in. Put me back on All Stars, man.
You see that? You said that 8-8 number come across. You're like, yes.
Hey, hype about it, and I gotta find out which one it is. I gotta find out which one it is. But yeah, I would like to get Dario on here with you on this podcast. We can do that, right? Because you put us both on here.
Hell yeah,
we get us both on here, man. Let him tell his side of it or whatever. Because I feel like I've been doing all these different interviews and people only been hearing my side, and we can kind of hash it out there.
I'll do it on one condition, that I can make fun of his skinny legs for the first 10 minutes of the podcast.
100%.
Okay.
Baby legs.
Yeah. String beans.
Oh, man.
Bart Simpson.
That's funny. Oh, Bart.
Oh, dude.
Fucking Bart.
Well, listen, man, it's always fun chopping it up, dude. Really excited about this 48-hour fucking dad duty you're going to be on. I want updates. I really do think you should film it. I think that would be golden television. But yeah, man, love what you're doing. And it's so funny how for the longest time, I mean, I think, listen, at the end of the day, you and I, our brains are still wired the same way, but seeing what you're doing and what you've done and who you are and what you've grown into, man, it's like I said before. It gives me hope. It really does. There is hope.
It's possible, bro. It is possible, man. Because I'm a maniac at heart. You know it, man. My baby. Listen, my children saved my life. Save me from me. Just idiotic shit. I mean, just you know how I go, man. So just Cam too. So that slowed me down in my tracks, and yeah. But if she was to let me leave for 2 weeks, I ain't getting no sleep. When you have kids at home, I always count it by the hours, right? So if she gives me 3 days, I got 72 hours to do as much as I can in that 72 because I know I'm about to go back home to chaos.
The last time when you came to visit me in Boca, I'll never forget. I'm waking up in the morning to fucking go to Rumble. You're, up on your phone in the morning, just sitting there, just fucking hysterically laughing, watching Instagram shit. And I'm like, you sure this is all you want to do? You're like, Johnny, you don't understand. Me being able to lay here on the couch and fucking watch Instagram videos. This is the most pleasure that I have had, where there's no kids running around. I'm just able to just be left alone, have my own time to just sit here and do nothing. And it was just crazy.
I can't even take a shit without Kingston knocking on the door. And he can smell it. He don't even care. I'm just like, damn, this is wild, bro. Hella wild. So yeah, I listen, any chance I get, but let me go get these kids. I love you, brother.
I love you too, man. And I'll be seeing you soon. And dude, yeah, thank you for stopping by the Death, Taxes, and Bananas podcast, where the tea flows like wine and my guests instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm Oprah, and you know I love you.